It's a very beautiful day. Yes! Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. How are you guys all doing? You staying quarantined? You feeling safe? I know I am, especially today. Today is a very special day because I picked up some amazing things. Actually, no, why am I getting ahead of myself? Let's talk about a little about what this is. The title says it, but for people or my subscribers that don't know what this is, allow me to fill you in. This is a company that distributes films via Blu-ray and just recently 4K Ultra HD, and this company in particular is a very special company. Now, there are certain companies that release old movies on Blu-ray like Criterion or Arrow or Severin or even Code Red. All of these companies are very small or somewhat big because of the recognition that they get for their remasters of films that are on these old film prints that get revived and are brought to us via Blu-rays. This is a company called Vinegar Syndrome. I heard about this from my amazing friends Jason and Angel. They like to collect a decent amount of Blu-rays. That's what they do, especially my buddy Angel. You can go check him out at horror.angel. You see a lot of his Blu-rays that he collects. This man is a collector to the bitter end, and I love him for it. They remaster or revive these old movies that you've never even heard of before. The way I found out about this was one night, it was actually on Easter, we decided to have a Ed Wood double feature, which was Plan 9 from Outer Space and Ed Wood. After that was over, I delved deep into Ed Wood a little bit more and watched Glenn or Glenda, and then after that was when we were talking about a film called Orgy of the Dead, which Vinegar Syndrome happens to own, which kind of getting a little ahead of myself, but that's why this all kind of came to be. I decided that if I was going to delve deep into Vinegar Syndrome, I was not only gonna get just Orgy of the Dead, but I was gonna get a good amount of movies. What you see in here is 2 out of the 3 boxes that I've gotten from this company, and I have to say, they kill it from what I've seen so far. I've seen nothing but amazing reviews from people all over YouTube talking about Vinegar Syndrome and how amazing that they are. So I decided to order some Vinegar Syndrome Blu-rays and talk about them. And hopefully after this unboxing, maybe I can do like a 1-month-long Vinegar Syndrome special where I review these movies because I've been thinking about doing it. And these movies in particular I wanted to review because they're just so out of the box and ridiculous. Why the hell not? I'm not going to go too in-depth with them because if I'm going to make this review video, I want to be able to talk about them in depth based on this. I want to thank an amazing person who kind of inspired this video in a way. I want to thank Michael Keane. I'll put his Twitter in the description and his YouTube channel. Go check him out. He is the whole reason why I'm doing this in the first place. His videos are spectacular. It's one of the reasons why I decided to pick up a Blu-ray that you're going to see in a second when I talk about it. This is going to be a decently long video, so just a little bit of a heads up. This is going to be a whole Vinegar Syndrome channel coming up for the next month. I'm going to really try my best to talk about these movies and why I got them. I am very excited. So without further ado, let's cut this bad boy open. This is an IKEA knife, so you know this is quality. What I love about this is that, as you can see, they have Vinegar Syndrome stickers, so you know where it's at, fam. All right. Ooh, alright. They package this very nicely. It's a small box, so it's not moving around too much, and they add a lot of bubble wrap to it. So, good on you, Vinegar Syndrome. Even after this COVID, you're still on top of things. Oh my god, this is fantastic. The first thing that I picked up was this movie. It's a very great movie. When you open it up, the discs are put nicely in there. There's just this film is called Nothing because I'm not a big fan of the 4K Ultra HD cases. I'd rather have a Blu-ray case. Let's talk about the first movie in my group of movies. For people that don't know, Vinegar Syndrome releases some incredible slipcovers with their films if you get them ahead of time before they sell out. So there are regular standard editions like the one I'm about to show you in just a sec, and there are also limited edition slipcovers. This is one out of the 2 that I purchased. The other slipcover is still coming in the mail. It's going to take at least a couple days for it to get here. It is so gorgeous. The first one I picked up was The Candy Snatchers. It still has limited edition slipcovers on their website. If you would like one, there's over 500 left. So, but again, like I said, they are limited, and when their Black Friday, halfway to Black Friday sale hits next month, these will sell out for sure. Best part about these slipcovers is that they're super embossed. Everything you can practically see is almost embossed. On the side here, Candy Snatchers, embossed as well. On the front here, and then on the back is that's some gorgeous artwork. And it says, "It started as such a simple crime." We take off the slipcover. You can be very gentle with this. And you can tell this is made really well. I mean, it's just like, it's a hell of a job, man. I never realized how awesome these slipcovers were. This is fantastic. This is great. You can see the standard edition for the Candy Snatchers right here. This is the classic poster, and the best part about Vinegar Syndrome is they have reversible cover artwork. So this isn't just the only cover you get. You can actually take out this cover and turn it around, and you can have a second poster with all of the details here on the back. Released in 1973. 95 minutes long, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. Again, not going to get too much in detail, but that is the first film I picked up, was Candy Snatchers with the limited edition slipcover. I didn't know that they had slipcover covers, so I'm going to buy some of those during the Black Friday sale so I can keep these slipcovers as nice as possible. I really don't want these to get injured because, again, you kind of spend a little extra money with what you're buying, and worth it. Second one I picked up is a film that I've heard nothing but great things about, and I absolutely had to pick it up. This is Tammy and the T-Rex on 4K. Because I have an Xbox One X, I'm actually able to pick up these films, so that's honestly one of the biggest positives to that. Tammy and the T-Rex is with Denise Richards and Paul Walker, released in 1993, 90 minutes long, and newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. This is one of the first 4K releases that Vinegar Syndrome has ever done, and from what I've heard and from what I've seen, it is a phenomenal print. This is actually the reason why, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the 4K cases, so I picked up a regular Blu-ray case to put in this, so there's a little more durability to it. It just feels flimsy, it just doesn't feel good, so I decided to pick up one of these to replace with this. This is actually originally a PG-13 film, but thanks to the amazing people of Vinegar Syndrome, they actually found the R-rated gory version, and, well, it's not rated, but it's basically the R-rated gory version, and again, Paul Walker plays an animatronic T-Rex. That's all I have to say. Also, Michael Keane did a phenomenal video about Tammy and the T-Rex, so you can go check that out on his channel. That's one I highly recommend. He sold this movie for me. That's why I picked this up. So thank you, Michael, for that recommendation. I really cannot wait to watch this. It's going to be ridiculous. And I'm going to watch this in 4K for sure. I'm very, very excited. That is the first box out of the way. Now we move on to the big leagues. This is the one that has 4 Blu-rays in it. These 4 Blu-rays were the very first ones I picked up, and I'll tell you what my first pickup was in, you know, the 4 purchases. Beautiful. So none of these have slipcovers on them. These are just all the standard editions of these films. This is the movie that Michael Keane sold me on besides Tammy. This was the first video I ever saw of his, and this was the reason why I wanted to pick up Vinegar Syndrome movies. After my buddies Jason and Angel told me about them. This is Spookies. I've heard nothing but incredible things about Spookies and the crazy development issues it's had. I do not want to get in too deep with the facts. I'd rather you go watch this film yourself and pick it up on Vinegar Syndrome to support these companies who are giving these movies to you. Art at its finest. Made in 1985, it is an 85-minute film and is a newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative. All I'll say is this, it's like if Krampus met Gremlins. Let's put it that way. I'm not talking about the quality of those movies, but in terms of creature effects, it's pretty much there from what I've seen. I'm not gonna get too much in depth after that. I said I wouldn't, but I just kind of wanted to explain this movie. I picked up movies also for like crowd reasons, so if I were to have people over, we'd be talking about movies, this is a huge one right here. So you got the Spookies. That's another one in the bag there. What you also probably don't know about Vinegar Syndrome is they actually remaster not just films, but also pornos from the 70s. And that is, I picked up 3 of them, technically 4, but I picked up 3 because I wanted to have some variety with what I was watching. So I picked up some films that are very much like Tarantino-esque, all the way down to something like Tammy and the T-Rex, and then you have something like Sex World. This, from what I've heard, this is one of the best movies, or one of the best porn movies in the 70s ever, or almost ever, but they said the quality of this is ridiculous, so I'm actually very excited to watch it. I really don't know anything about it. I've seen some screenshots all the way down to the synopsis of the film, but I've never really gone in depth with it. This is scanned and restored in 4K from a 35mm original camera negative. A lot of these are going to be like that. Released in 1977, it is a 91-minute film, and it is, I don't think there's any rating for this. I'm pretty sure it's NC-17 or rated X. So, yeah, I mean, there it is right there, Sex World. They remastered the film. It was originally, I think, on a different type of Blu-ray, but then they released it and made it a little bit newer since Vinegar Syndrome got bigger. So, there you have it. Boom. Sex World. That is another one right out of the gate. The film that was my first choice for a Vinegar Syndrome film and was the whole reason why I kind of started picking them up. This was after, it was this one and then Sex World. There we go. This is Ed Wood's Orgy of the Dead. This is written by Edward D. Wood Jr. and directed by A.C. Stephen. Dude, yeah. It was released in 1965 and is a 90-minute film and was newly scanned and restored in a 2K from the 35mm original camera negative, and it has a commentary track and all that jazz. I said I wouldn't do that, but I mean, this is the one that I got because it's just so fascinating. Again, Vinegar Syndrome kills it with a lot of their restorations, so I'm very excited to check this one out. Man, this is gonna be weird. This is based off of a book that he wrote that turned into the screenplay, but he also did write it in, I believe, in the form of a screenplay. God, I could be so wrong with this. I wish I knew movies more, but like I said, I was researching a lot of this before I even made this video, so you can tell how unprepared I am as a YouTuber. Look at me now, Mom. And the last one that I picked up in this box is Brad Pitt's acting debut, Cutting Class. This, when I saw this one, I was so fascinated in it because of just, like, it feels so much like a Friday the 13th in high school kind of thing. It's like a slasher, but seeing that it was Brad Pitt's acting debut had me sold right away. This was released in 1988 and is a 91-minute film, newly scanned and restored in 4K from its original camera 35mm negative. Directed by Ross Poe Pallenberg. Interesting, I've never heard of his name before. They said it's not great, but it's also enjoyable to watch. After I picked up Orgy, I had to pick up something that I felt would be interesting or entertaining to watch besides Orgy and Sex World. I think this was the last one that I picked up, because it was also, what was the last one? My God, my brain is just scrambled today. Spookies, yeah. So there you have it. A lot of my movies here, I mean, besides the blank one. This is my list of films so far. I still have 3 more coming in, which will be right now. Whoa. And in the 3 days that we were gone, I have watched so far Cutting Class, Sex World, and Spookies. I've watched those 3 so far in preparation for the video. I still have to watch like the documentary on Spookies, but hopefully I can get ahead to that. But that's not what we're talking about now, that we're in the future. The future is alive again. We now have the other box that just came in about 20 minutes ago. You know, it's very funny that I keep saying I'm excited, but yet it's just a box with movies in it. I'm amazingly excited! I've gotten better in the 3 days I've been gone. Yeah. So the next one that I got was the Kurama 2 film. You're seeing the reflection off of the phone, so I'm gonna try my best to see if you guys can see it. But there it is right there. 2 first-run features, XXX rated films, adult films for home use. Both of these films were released in 1973 and has a combined running time of 169 minutes. Nice. Renee Bond was one of the most popular, versatile, talented actresses of the early hardcore era, and presented here are 2 Renee rarities from 1973. Okay, so that I didn't know. I just knew that these Kurama titles are they're there in the Vinegar Syndrome collections, but it's a matter and who they're trying to appreciate in each certain double feature. Frankie and Johnny Were Lovers, 1973, 76 minutes long, and The Mislaid Genie, which is 93 minutes long. Interesting. I gotta be honest with you, I wish I knew a little more about these movies, but again, thanks to Michael Keane, I learned a little bit about each. A lot of the movies that he's recommended on his channel, the ones that he reviews, are the majority of the reason why I actually picked up a lot of these, including this one. Now, for people that don't know, their Kurama XXX films are only on DVD, and they're region-free, so you can watch it on any Blu-ray player, all that. It's open, it's out there in the atmosphere. Newly scanned and restored in 2K from 35mm and 16mm archival elements, okay. Promotional image gallery for Frankie, the first film, and inside cover artwork. So, I mean, there you have it. Again, combined 169 minutes, both released in 1973, and both starring Renee Bond. This is Frankie and Johnny Were Lovers, and The Mislaid Genie. The next film we got here is a film that when I saw it on their catalog, I couldn't believe that they had it, and I didn't even realize that they don't have just this one, but all of Rudy Ray Moore's films that he, I guess, directed, but also starred in. This is Dolomite. I had to pick up Dolomite. After watching Dolomite Is My Name, I never was able to actually see the original film. And I am so pumped up for this. This is so fascinating to me how Vinegar Syndrome took the time and consideration to really make this a good release. And based on just these special features, it seems like they did that. Released in 1975, and it is exactly 90 minutes long. What I've noticed about a lot of the Vinegar Syndrome films that they have is that they're either 90 minutes or 85 minutes or a little bit longer than that, but it's never anything more than that. Scanned and restored in 2K from a newly discovered 35mm negative, including 2 framing options, the intended 185 widescreen version and the alternate full-frame boom mic version. So for people that don't know about Dolomite, for a lot of its production, they would have certain things happening, like you can see like certain people in the background, or the boom mic was in frame when they would shoot a lot of their stuff. So in order to make it work, they have the 185, so it was originally intended that you wouldn't see that stuff. But they have the version where you see all the mistakes, and for sure. Making of documentary, featurettes, historical commentary track by Rudy Waymore, wow. And the Human Tornado theatrical trailer, and reversible cover artwork. Wonderful. And they also have Human Tornado and a lot of his other work on Vinegar Syndrome, so I hope to pick those up in the future, probably during the 50% off sale. Dolomite. They better not miss. And finally, we've saved the best for last. This is another slipcover. I gotta level with you. This is actually a very nice slipcover, my goodness. That is In the Cold of the Night, directed by, and I'm gonna butcher this name, so be ready, Nico Mastorakis. He's the master of the Rockies, because this is Nico Mastorakis. So there's a special appearance by Tippi Hedren in this film, but based on the review that I saw by Michael Keane as well, she's really only in it for like a scene, so. As you can see with the slipcover, the front of it is a gun pointed up in the air and shows the woman in the film. And then on the back here, there's a quote from the movie here, and it says, "Some dreams should never come true." I mean, they're not wrong. It's the front right there. The side. This is the back here with the quote. And then the other side. As we remove the slipcover. And again, really well-made slipcover, dude. They get where it's at. They get where it's at, indeed. Yes, they do. Standard edition is the same as the slipcover, as it is on the front, right there. And then on the back, newly scanned and restored in 4K from his 35mm original camera negative, behind-the-scenes featurette, image gallery, theatrical trailer, reversible cover artwork, and subtitles. Released in 1990, has a 113-minute runtime. That's actually kind of long. Out of all the films that I own in my collection of movies that I've gotten over the past couple of days, this is probably the longest film that's in my collection. 113 minutes is long. They also have in this film the fully uncut NC-17 rated version. I think there was an R-rated version. I mean, I'm not entirely sure on specifics with that, but to have an NC-17 version, alright. Let's go. But again, I've seen Sex World and shit like that, so this should be nothing. At least from what I've seen, it's not great, but it's very entertaining to watch. In the Cold of the Night by Nico Mastorakis. Oh, God, I feel like I butchered that name. I feel like I so did. I checked the site last night, and there are only 67 copies with the slipcover left. So if you want to get it before the Black Friday sale, because they will for fucking sure sell out during the Black Friday sale. So pick it up while you can. Only 67 copies left. And there we have it. We have In the Cold of the Night, Dolomite, and Frankie and Johnny Were Lovers, and The Mislaid Genie. I also think it's crazy that all the Kuramas are not on Blu-ray. They're just straight up DVD. So, you know, good for me on there. I guess gonna watch it in a lesser quality. But then again, they do remaster these like crazy, so it'll probably look pretty badass. That is going to be it, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on down and watching this video. It means a lot to me. Hopefully, I can get all these reviews done in time before the halfway to Black Friday sale. That's what I'm hoping happens. So if it happens, great. If it doesn't, you know what? I tried. And lastly, I just want to make sure that I hope you all are safe in quarantine and you're not going out or not doing anything unless absolutely necessary. I hope your loved ones are safe. I hope everyone is safe during this quarantine. It's really rough for everyone to be stuck at home and deal with this cabin fever that we're all dealing with. I know I'm dealing with it, and it's the worst. But when a company that comes along and releases films like these to really help pass the time and discover stuff every day, I mean, before all this happened, we never really had the time to do any of that stuff, and it really kind of well, man, just bummed a lot of people out that way. I guarantee you there are certain things you want to do. Read a book, watch a TV show that everyone's been hyping and talking about, being able to watch a movie in theaters, but you were never able to get the chance to, and being able to watch it at home or have a relaxing day off. Now we have all the time in the world for that, but as long as everyone is safe and secure and being able to do that, mostly watch movies, that is the part that matters the most. So I hope that everyone is safe at home. And if you took an interest in Vinegar Syndrome watching this video and you want to pick up any of these movies, you can go to www.vinegarsyndrome.com. They have a lot of movies to choose from, a lot of different stuff to go off of. There's horror, there's exploitation, there's some crazy shit. Their site is still live and you're actually able to pick up films and support a company that is really in a struggle. All companies are in a struggle right now, but if you want to pick up some movies that are beyond what you've really seen, this is the place to go. I did it, and honestly, I'm 3 movies in, and I really don't regret it. I'm having a lot of fun watching all these movies because it's so great to watch something different than like Stranger Things, or as much as I love Scrubs that I'm binge watching for the first time, I want to be able to get into something that's different and unique and genre to the fucking max. So please, go support the site. And go support other companies like Criterion, Arrow, all that. They're all available. I'll post a couple of extra sites down below so you can go support those companies as well if you want to check out different movies besides the crazy-ass genre films and exploitations and shit that is on Vinegar Syndrome too. I want to be able to support companies in this time of need right now, and I think the best way is to put the links down below and you going on down and checking out films that you would like to purchase on your own time, of course. So that is it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all soon with, hopefully, the first of these reviews. Thank you, and stay safe.